Welcome to I Can Motivation. I am your host, Matthew Lawrence Sagowski, and I am super excited to be here today to share with you not just one, but actually two pieces of work that I've completed. They're both poems and writings. They're really about unleashing the latent power within inside of yourself. And the first one is called Discover What You Don't Know. And the second piece is called Latent Powers Within. So it's really an affirmational piece. It's something you could read to yourself every morning to kind of start your day. But before I get into the writings, I want to lay some framework down that we can get into a discussion, kind of foundational discussion of really awakening these powers. And before we can awaken them, we really need to think about how we talk to ourselves. And so I want to get into a discussion about the duality of thought. And the duality of thought is all about affirming all that you wish to enter your life and denying all that you do not. The words that you use, they're incredibly powerful. They set the tone for whether you move forward in something or you don't. So let's first take a look at the duality of how you talk to yourself, affirming and denying. And it's incredibly crucial, and I believe in a lot of ways it's overlooked. And I will tell you that just recently, I started paying way more attention to this myself, and I'll tell you that it's made a huge difference in the things that I'm working on. So affirming and denying really relates to what I would like to think of as, you may have even heard this before, things that are blockers in your life. And they're things that are planted into your subconscious, and they really stem from past experiences and even your childhood and how you were raised. And an example would be, like when you say to yourself that, you want to become wealthy, but the very next thought that follows, is one of lack or not deserving of it. And the way to fix this is you have to deny the lack. And a great thing to say to yourself in denying lack is to say that poverty has no place in my life, period. So when you're feeling that, you just deny the lack by making that declaration. So you're denying it from taking hold, and you're affirming that wealth is free to enter your life and you welcome it. It makes a huge difference, and it really applies to all things. So take some time, really think about this. There's probably a really good chance you're self-sabotaging that which you want to enter your life from happening. It can be anything from relationships, promotions, losing weight, and many more. So there's probably some blocks that need to be cleared, and a great way to start is by affirming all you want to enter your life and denying all that you do not. So that's the first piece of the framework in which these two pieces of work that I'm going to read to you a little later on come from. The next really important step and the next really important piece that really relates to affirming and denying are words that you use. And my favorite word or words are I can or I am. And the piece that would contradict that would be the words I can't. So, I like to call these secret words because they really can change everything in your life. And, the opposite is true as well. So it's very critical which ones you use. So let's start with I can't, because these words are what are going to stop you in your tracks. I want you to think about how many times do you say, I can't? Really think about it and reflect on how often it happens. When faced with a challenge or, if things start to get hard, do these words creep into your mind? And, really think about the times when you've looked at something. Maybe it's something you've never done, or it's a challenge that you're facing, or it's something you'd like to do, but you look at it and you go, oh, there's no way I can do that. I can't do that. How often does that happen? If those are the first words that come to your mind, then you're never going to do it. And so you need to remove those words from your vocabulary. I'll give you an example. For me, I like to think of workouts when I'm really training hard, my body wants to stop. I might be in the middle of a really tough set, and the words start creeping in, and if I let them sink in, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to quit. So you'll convince yourself to stop, and you have to basically not let those words creep in. You have to say, you know what, I can keep going. I can do this. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? The worst thing that's going to happen is that, maybe you fail, but you're going to get up and you're going to try it again. And that's the really critical and important part. So another example would be really doing something that you've never done. You look at it and you say, I can't do that. Well, how will you ever find out if you can? The answer is you won't, because you never gave yourself a chance. And so really think about that. Think about those words and how often you use them. Let's switch over to my favorite words, which are I can. And I can really makes everything possible. And I encourage you to use these words all the time. Develop a mindset where you don't care if you fail, because when you use these words, you get back up and you try again. Failure becomes just temporary with I can. So all the powers within you, these latent powers, they become activated with I can. And that's why I like to call them magic words, because you're going to find out things about yourself and things you never knew and strength you never thought you had when you use these words. So I can gives you a chance. And most people would love to get a chance, right? I bet you'd love to get a chance. A chance at, attaining whatever it is you want to go after in life. You have the power to give yourself that chance with the words, I can. Remember something. This is really, really important. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. You and you alone are at the controls and determine what you can and can't do by using these words. So I know I can, and I believe you can too. So really think about that, let it sink in, and kind of ponder the thoughts that you have during the day and things that you've run into, and how many times have you used that. So these are the two kind of foundational pieces that really kind of set the framework for the two writings I'm going to get into right now. So let's jump into the first one, which is discover what you don't know. And I'm going to go ahead and just start reading it, and then afterwards we'll talk about it a little bit. So discover what you don't know. To have something you've never had, you must do something you've never done. By challenging yourself, you will grow and discover capabilities you have that were hidden behind a door that requires a key that can only be used by pushing yourself. Locked and stored away are items of personal growth, locked by conformity and comfort for the status quo. Enter with conviction and leave fear behind. Negate hesitation by asking yourself, what is there to gain by never going beyond what I already know? I will never become all I was meant to be if I never do what scares me and challenges me. Gaze at what lies ahead and announce your intentions. Then proceed forward. Once you do, a commitment has been made. Understand it will be hard, but welcome it. Servitude to conformity is no way to live. Each one of us is meant for so much more. Life will expand into areas you didn't even know existed. Face the giant by challenging yourself and become a giant in your own right. So that was Discover What You Don't Know. I really like this piece because, I really live my own life this way. So many of the things that I've accomplished or that I've gone after, they've all come from me challenging myself. And by challenging myself, I discovered things that I never would have known. There's a couple lines in here I want you to maybe go back and kind of think about, but the first one was really to have something you never had. You have to do something you've never done. So think about that. The other one is locked by conformity and comfort for the status quo. We get comfortable in life, and change is something that's hard. Even good change is hard for anyone. But that comfort really kind of locks you into conformity. And so, you're never going to go beyond what you don't know, if you just stay comfortable. So make yourself uncomfortable. This is probably one of the most important lines because whenever you're challenging yourself, whenever you're going after something, here's the line, rest assured, the harder it gets, the closer you are. And I remind myself of this all the time. The things that I'm striving for, that I'm working for, it's not easy. This path that I'm on, of being a writer and getting my name out there and really trying to have an impact on society. And this path, it can get hard. Sometimes some things creep in. You wonder if you're really having an impact or people are really listening and you want a larger audience. And I just have to remind myself that, the harder it gets, the closer you're getting, Matt. So just keep going. And I would encourage you to do the same. And just remind yourself of that the harder it's getting, the closer you're getting. And so many times in life, people will stop just shy of attaining a goal because it got really hard. And so I'm hoping that really kind of sinks in, and just remind yourself, what? I am getting close. Just keep going. I can do this. I think that'll make all the difference in the world. And it should also kind of bring some peace to say to yourself, you know what? I'm not going to give up because I know that I'm getting really close. You almost get excited in that sense. So that's the first piece. I hope you enjoyed Discover What You Don't Know. I'm going to get into the second piece here now. And the second piece ties right into this. It's called Latent Powers Within. And I'd like to think of this as an affirmational piece. It's a piece that I'd encourage you to print it out afterwards. I'll give you the links to where you can do that. And it's something you could read to yourself every morning. So let's get into Latent Powers Within. Use the words I can and unlock the door marked possible. New abilities awaken with I can. Learn how to reach new heights. Only the words I can provide the ladder. Clipping the wings of an eagle with I can't, kept grounded when you're meant to soar. These latent powers only need encouragement. How finds the way with I can, energizing your confidence to do things you otherwise would not try. Discoveries are made with I can. Ordinary becomes extraordinary with I can. Opportunities are taken advantage of with I can. Risks become exciting with I can. The road ahead looks promising with I can. Obstacles provide insight with I can. Problems disappear and become opportunities with I can. Should have is a thing of the past with I can. Steadfast in the pursuit of goals with I can. I believe, therefore I can. Become all you were meant to be and leave the words I can't in the past. Enter the land of impossible and shout, I can. That was fun. I hope you enjoyed that. I think it's a really powerful piece. And those are the magic words. Those are the secret words that unlock that door to the powers inside of yourself. They make things possible. And I want you to think about a couple lines in here. How finds the way? So many times when we're striving for something or going after a goal or we want to do something we've never done, we get in our own way by saying, well, how am I going to do this? It's not about the how. Don't worry about the how. You just need to start. And when you do, how finds the way. It's really faith's reward. It's about having that faith and belief in yourself and not worrying about understanding everything up front. Just know what you want to do and start doing it. And the how will find the way. One of my other favorite lines in this, and it's the ending, is that you enter the land of impossible and you shout, I can. I love looking at things that are incredibly difficult and hard, things that I've never done before. I don't care. I'll look at it and I'll stare it down and say, I can. I know I can do this. And when you do that, I don't know, something inside of you is going to awaken, and it's hard to really explain, but it's a feeling. And I'm sure some of you have probably experienced this, but for those of you who haven't, I want you to really try it. And you have to believe in it. You can't just do it without believing. You got to feel it. But that's really the essence of this writing, and I just think that it's such an important piece. So I hope you guys really enjoyed these two pieces. Latent powers within and discover what you don't know. They're pieces that are all about, awakening these things inside of yourself that you don't know. And I'd highly encourage you, go ahead and go to the I Can Motivation website, subscribe to it. I'd love to get your feedback on these pieces, so feel free to leave comments. The other thing that I always offer is if you would like either one of these pieces, feel free to shoot me a message. You can shoot me a message on Facebook. You can leave a comment on YouTube. If you go to Instagram, I have all these writings up as well. But if you'd like a nice clean copy, I would be more than happy to email you a PDF file of it. And so it would really be my pleasure. Until next time, this has been Matthew Lawrence Sagowski.